He doesn't care about the United States as much as he cares about his imaginary race. And like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and others, Steve Miller and others, they have a vision of trying to save themselves from what Francis Cress Welsing would call genetic extermination or annihilation, rather. They think they're preserving something in this ridiculous concept of race. But when we talk about what we want, and you talked to Representative Moore there, and he mentioned his father, James Moore, one of the Marines at Mumford Point, North Carolina, who, of course, went on to lead the NAACP there. And what were those black people fighting for in South Carolina? They were not fighting to sit next to white children in the schools. This is where we talk about Brown versus Board of Education, but we know that those early cases in South Carolina are what laid the foundation for everything that came late after. And what they wanted was equality, equal resources. And you mentioned Robert Smalls and Robert Elliott in that South Carolina legislature. And public education in the South, we know, was a black idea, as Du Bois teaches us in his book, Black and Reconstruction. And they wanted everyone to get an education, but they didn't want to trade their culture, their foundation, as those Siala and Gullah Geechee Africans in Georgia and South Carolina. They just want to be left alone to build. This is where I'm going with it. Of course, this passion that we hear commingle with your keen analysis of what must be done is not to become beholden to a structure where a few of us get rich, the rest of us are poor, and we call that progress. So I would say this, finally. I find myself a lot more contemplative right now. I'm thinking about what must be done. One is education. We have never been patriotic. Anyone who wants to tell me that we have been patriotic, I really do invite you to let's be in conversation about that, because I'm going to walk you chapter and verse through our experiences. We've used patriotism as a defense mechanism. What these white boys are about to find out is that once you break it, it will not be rebuilt. Let's take South Carolina. You want to pass these anti-DI laws? No problem. A supermajority, 82 to 32. I was in Columbia, South Carolina about 3 weeks ago. They got a statue of John C. Calhoun right outside their chamber where Representative Moore voted. Well, then pass that law. And the first running back, the first two guard for Dawn Staley at the University of South Carolina, who says, I will not attend for my 1 year in college, make my money in name and likeness. I will not attend any school that doesn't have these policies. Watch how quickly these crackers say, wait,